In this tutorial, I will be covering how to change the color with color balance and adjustment layers, hue saturation with adjustment layers, color with blending options in the layer panel, which would be right here, and layer style color, which is an overlay, and I'll explain a couple of different ways to do that. To begin this, you have your image and you have already unlocked your layer. Then the next thing that you should do is make a selection of the area that you'd like to change, because all of these ways will need to be told where you want to change them. If not, for example, let's take a look at how a color balance adjustment layer will change the entire image. Here's a color balance adjustment layer. And assuming that this is the way that you want the color to be changed, it changes the entire image. So there's a couple of different ways of doing that. One would be that you have a layer that has the color balance on it. Now, this area right here, this is kind of like a mask. So this icon is saying, okay, I want all of the colors changed here in whichever fashion that you've just decided. And in this area, it says that all of the picture or all of your image is going to be affected. Now, if I didn't want some of this area affected, I could simply take out a black paintbrush and basically put it in shadows. So where everything is in light, we observe the color change. Where everything is in dark, we don't observe the color change. So if I go to my brush tool and I change to black, oh, my tool is gigantic right now. And if I was to go over, using my bracket keys, the area that I don't want the color change, say I only want it on the dress, then I would, making sure I'm on this area, paint in black. As I'm painting in black, you'll see that part of that has shown up. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is that as soon as I click on my brush tool to paint over top of my mask that has been created with the effects, or excuse me, not the effects, but the adjustment layer, there are options. And one of those options is opacity. The opacity of my brush right now is actually only at 47%, which means I'm only at 47% black. So if I up that to 100%, that will create a black mark. And so we'll see the change on the image itself and in the layer mask. So one other way of doing this is my favorite way of doing it, by the way. I think it's the simplest. It shows you exactly what you're doing, and this makes the most sense. If you were to do it the other way, so for now, I'm just going to shut the layer off or hide it so that it's not visible. If you were to make a selection, so let's make sure we're on the right layer to make those selections, and you used your quick select tool, you could go in and select only the areas that you wanted to affect. So let's just say this area for now. Then I could go and create a adjustment layer based on whatever I wanted to do with any of these things. Because I've already done color balance, let me show you what hue saturation looks like. So right now nothing has happened, but notice how, because I made that selection with the selection tool, that here's the icon defining what it is that we're doing, the hue saturation, and notice that there is all of a blackout area. It's only showing the white part of the dress that I selected. So this is only going to change what is visible or what is in the light, we'll say. I could change the hue. What's kind of cool about this tool, the hue saturation, is that you can see it on a sliding scale. You could change the saturation, which means how much color or how little color. And then you can decide how dark or light it's going to be. And those are two different ways of adding adjustment layers.